Hello? 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 Oh, you get it? Okie dokie. Boom, boom, boom. Let's just see. Okie dokie. Cool. So let's go there. Okie dokie. Cool. So cool. Hello to anybody watching. Please do comment. Let me know you're listening in and say hello. Pleasure to have you. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of sound design for a mini game I've been working on for Pitchback and also for the Pitchback audio station called Sounds of Eden. So let's open up the Unity project. This is AudioPong, which we'll get into in a minute. Okay, machine. Cool. And we're in. 1 second. Cool. Let's check the socials. See what's going on. That's all good. That's all good. Okay, so this is an idea I've had for a little while for a game. It's an audio game based on the extended metaphor of a garden. And so if you think about a garden, it all only works together well when it's got the right combination of different plants. So trees and flowers and also different creatures which help to fertilize those plants and trees and help the forest grow. So I think that's a great metaphor for music, right? It sounds good, or vice versa. It sounds good when everything is harmonious together. And so because of that, I had this thought for an audio game where you'd be the gardener and you'd tend to your garden and place down different sounds. Oh, hello there, the Saucy Tiger. I think you're from our Discord channel. How are you doing? That's a good point. I shall give this a share on Discord. Yeah, I'll put that to the other one. Okay. What's that? Hey, Murky Waters Productions. Cool. Nice to have you in the stream. I'm just going to give this a share for Kickstarter and then we'll, for Discord, and then we'll carry on. It's now streaming game live. Say hello. Yeah, sure. All right. So I've been working on some mini games which are going to feature in the Pitch Black full game, and we're also going to release separately via a mobile app called the Pitch Black Audio Station. And within that, there'll be various audiobooks based in the world of Pitch Black, and also various mini games. So one of which is Audio Pong, which I'll show you in a minute, and another. Which you can see on screen at the moment, is Sounds of Eden, which is sort of based on the Garden of Eden story where everything's in perfect harmony with each other. So it's an audio game where you're essentially the gardener of the Sounds of Eden garden, and you go around and plant trees and flowers, and each of those are represented by a certain type of sound. So, for example, we press play. Give it a second. Okay, so you can hear that sort of low-end synth sound, and what that does, is that's representing the grass in the garden. That's sort of the basic layer. Now, as I move my garden around using the arrow keys, you can hear those chimes are all in C major and the grass is in C. So that in itself sort of creates a harmony. Now, if I place down a tree, you can hear that we've now got tree which is very bassy and low, and as I move away from it, it gets quieter. As I move towards it, it gets louder. Now different trees represent different notes. So if I press T and then T, you can hear that that's a different type of tree. I move backwards, and there's that one. If I move elsewhere and place a different note, you can hear that's the fifth. And if we go more centrally, you can hear the harmony of all of the trees working together. Now because I've now got 3 trees, you can hear a little melody started happening, and that represents the birds. And so the birds generate melodies based on sort of procedural generation of picking what notes that are weighted towards the harmonic ones in the major scale, rather than any dissonance, so the consonant notes. And it also moves between the trees. So you've got this entirely sort of procedurally generated soundscape. If I move to another corner, found a different tree. So that's our 7th, and that's sort of less harmonious and adds a bit more colour. And you see we're now central, and we can just hear that major 7th in the background, but we also have the rest of the harmonies. So let's add some more trees. And once we get above each number of trees, we then start adding more birds. And so you go around, place more trees, and as we move around the garden, you can hear different areas sound different harmonically. There's another tree. And so on and so forth. So this is a very cool idea I've had for a little while, and what we just heard is pretty much as far as I've gotten with it. Oh. Hello Adam, thanks very much. Hello Werner Katz, how you doing? Hope you're all good. Yeah, it's New Year's Eve, so most people aren't working, but game dev is fun, and so I'm here. Right, so now we've got a couple more views. The plan is... Oh, that's thanks very much, Murky Waters. We do actually have a PayPal donation thing if you do want to contribute more. I'll find a link for you. By the way, if there are any issues with the stream, just let me know, and we'll sort it. Okay. It's tricky. All right. Okay, yeah, so the idea with streaming live is we're going to do this sort of every day that I'm developing, so you can see the game getting made over time, which is very cool, and it's also a way of getting sort of community interaction and talking to you guys about what you want to see and what features you might like and all that sort of stuff. And also hopefully if we gain a little bit more traction, get some donations going in, and just help fund the rest of the production of the game, really. Yeah, that's cool. All right, now the other thing I've been working on is Audio Pong, which I'll open and show you guys now. Okie dokie. So Audio Pong is going to be another mini game with the pitch black audio station, and also in the main game. And there are a couple of issues I had to overcome to make this sort of work. Still not finished, obviously. But the first one is that if you imagine Pong from a first-person perspective, where you are the paddle, as the ball's going left and right, the angle sort of doesn't really change that much because it's going forward. It's either 20 degrees to your left or 20 degrees to your right, and the only point at which it's 90 degrees to your left or 90 degrees to your right is as it's passing you as the player. Now with the and the same's true of where the opponent is. So when you're trying to make an audio version, you need to make it clearer to the player whereabouts in their x-axis, so whereabouts in the left and right, the ball is. So to get past that, I've put an audio source that tracks the x-axis of the ball just behind the player. And so it moves side to side, and it's really a lot more obvious where the ball is. And the other issue you have is conveying distance, because when the ball's at your end, it's very, very loud, and when it's at the other end, you want it to be quiet, but then if it's quiet, you can't track where the ball has gone left or right. It's very hard to localize spatially. And so a way to get around that is you make the ball beep like a radar. So when it's really far away, it sort of beeps slowly, and as it gets closer, it beeps a lot more quickly, like that. And then as it moves away, it gets slowly, more slowly, and so on. So I'll give this a quick play, and you'll hear what I mean. Cool. Obviously, best if you're wearing headphones. So now I'm going to play with my eyes closed. You can hear the balls to the left. Okay, balls to my right. Yeah, and so in this way you can really tell how distant the ball is and how far to the left and right it is. Okay, so the plan with this game is we're going to add in sort of audience noises to make it a lot more exciting, but initially it was really important to make it very playable so that it's not just a frustrating experience, rather one that's quite fun, quite easy to do. So yeah. Okie dokie. Right, let's go back to the Sounds of Eden project. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the streaming, not streaming, sound design in it. Okay, so I've been making these types of sounds so that when you place a plant in game, it makes the source as opposed to just sort of fading in, so you get a real sort of visceral idea of when you place a tree. So I'm just going to look at that code now. Okey-dokey. So this is the code for the tree. Not too scary. So at the start, it sounds, it finds a game object with the tag Soundgarden Master. That's not there. Hang on. Excuse me. That's this bad boy here. And this is what's going to talk to the rest of the game about how harmonious your garden is, and therefore how many gardens and stuff, how many bees and birds and stuff we're going to count. Okie dokie. So if we think about when we want this sound to be played, you want if the tree's been activated, so if turn on. We want to play an audio clip, so let's do public audio clip array, and let's call it plant tree. Okay, then we want to if turn on, and let's make a bool as well. Bool boolean tree turned on. So if the whole thing's been turned on and the tree it's not been turned on yet, then we want to audio source, which is the audio source on the tree. Play one shot. Oh, sugar. Play the plant sound. We also need a private integer called plant tree sound. Yeah. Okay. Play one shot. Plant tree. Cool, then we need to tell which index of plant tree it is. So then we do, we don't even need the integer. Plant tree. Run, okay, put some brackets. Run.range, bracket, 0, and plant tree dot length. Okay. Let's run that way. Oh, I get it. So 0, comma. Play one shot, plant tree, this is the index, and so you're range. Yeah, okay. So it's going to be 0, comma. Plant tree. 0, comma. Okay, Let me just figure this out. Sorry guys, just having a bit of a brain freeze 1 second. Okay, what do you sort of stop play one shot? What have I done differently? I don't know, baby. Range, comma brackets, plant tree dot length. Oh, I'm an idiot. Haha. Sick, mate. Cool, alright. So, what this is going to do is, and we also need to turn on. Equals true. Sick, mate. Alright. So, how this is going to work is that, so if the tree gets turned on, as in if it's activated using the T button, we're going to what are those? Yeah, we're going to if this hasn't been turned on, then we're going to play one shot plant tree, which is an audio clip array, and it's going to pick a random sound out of that array, and this bit is getting the length of the array. So, and then tree turned on equals true, so we don't keep calling that. Cool. Let's shift that. Make it look a bit nicer. Cakey cakey. So let's give that a try in Unity and see what works. Just check how we do. Cool, thank you for the share. Stuff. Okay. Right, so now we need to populate the array for tree. So select our trees. Okay. So plant tree, that's that. So let's lock that there. And then let's go project. Footsteps. Fans of Eden. Create new folder. Add trees. Plant tree sound. Okay. Then we can open up tree sound folder. Plonk you. Yeah, there. Oh, what's that? Look at this. Try again. So, okay. Alright, then we get all of our plant trees. Put you into there. Cool. So, playing our game. Move around, press T1. Whoa. Holy moly. So I mean, that's pretty dope, but it's a bit full on, eh? Hello, Roland. Thank you for the feedback, man. Let me go back into Reaper. Do some sound designy stuff. Okay. Alright. So let's check out the bass response on this bad boy. Maybe. Okay. Thank you, Saucy Target. Okay, so that's not too bad in there. So I reckon it's to do with the reverb in Unity. Alright, so this is called the audio mixer, for those of you that don't know Unity so much. And so, let's sort out the bass response in this bad boy. No Scope is more pro for sure. Frequency. Turn you down. Let's try this. Okay. That's bad. Probably easier though to render out some new bad boys. Ah, hello, Bro Bennett. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us. By the way, guys, if you want to contribute to the project, we do have a PayPal thing. We accept donations, or you can pre-order the game for about £17, which equates to equates to about $23. And you can do so. Oh, sugar. us here. Okay. Back to the dev. For anyone that's just joined, by the way, we're currently working on a mini game, which is set within the Pitch Black sort of universe. It's called Sounds of Eden, and the basic concept is you're a gardener, and each plant in your garden, so each tree, each flower, it's being represented by a certain sound. And once you have a certain number of trees in your garden, then birds come along. And when you have a certain number of flowers in your garden, bees come along. And the idea is to make this harmonious garden. Throughout the game, sort of weeds will appear and cause disharmony. And it's a very sort of casual gameplay, but very, very zen, very relaxing. That's the goal with this. Right now, in Unity, I think because of the reverb, the trees are particularly bassy, or the plant tree sound is. So I'm just taking out some of the low end using Reaper, which is my DAW of choice. To then put back into Unity. I think maybe lowering the volume a smidge as well will probably help. Unity, I mean. Okay, beautiful. Now, broadcasts, track, time selection, estimates, then select track directory. Hello, Jessica Hodges. Thanks very much for joining us. How you doing? Sabine, that's track. We want these to be mono. 48, don't know why it goes to 41. That's crazy talk. Nice. Okay, wonderful files. Show Explorer. Oh yeah. Do this. Okay, push you over there. Let's go back to black. Project. Set of trees. Let's remove you. Delete. Run it. Put in new ones. I'm Harry Cooper, by the way. Roll Bennett, that's me. It's alright. Game dev is super fun. It's not too much hard work, you know. I mean, it is, but it's good hard work, you know. Alright. Okay. Okay. Should be 0. And all y'all can come in here. Sweet. Let's try that proper. It's better, isn't it? That's so cool. Yeah, 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 yeah. Beautiful. Oh, that's a big one. Sweet man. Sounds good. Cool. Okie dokie. So that's all sounding lovely. Right, next job is to start making some sounds for the plants, actually. Um, so, let me go away, say, sound less creation, plant sounds, plant tree sound. Whoa. Don't need more media. File new project. Right. Okay, so what should plants sound like? Sound sine maybe. Okay. Chair. Synth. Yeah, sorry about that. The microphone I know isn't particularly good well, not tomorrow because I won't be streaming tomorrow. But on Thursday and for future streams, I'm going to be using um, an actual microphone. Today I wasn't really expecting to do sort of a full stream thing. But yeah, so Thursday I'll be using proper mic. Hello, Jordan. That is Jordan from the Pitch Black team, by the way. Oh well, don't worry, bro. It's a plan going forward. Indeed. I might be able to fix something. Not that. Stream health. Oh, cool. Very good. Not being sent off enough. I wonder if it's due to Dropbox. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, singing bowls would be lovely, wouldn't it? I think I used to have a singing bowl synth. Let me have a look. The bar chimes are quite nice as well. Yeah. So George, to update you, mate. I've just been adding some stuff to the pitch black. To the Sounds of Eden project. And planting trees. And so on. Yeah. So that's so cool. How do you make the binaural sound? It's surreal. So the binaural sound is done using something called Steam Audio, which I'll show you now. So it's nothing too crazy. What it does is, so essentially adds HRTFs to the game. What HRTFs are, imagine, I suppose you don't have to imagine, you've got two ears, right? So this one and this one. And when a sound is coming from directly in front of you, it comes just straight to your ears, and there isn't much effect by your head or by your shoulders or anything like that. But if a sound comes from, say, to the right of you and up a bit, say like 45 degrees up and 45 degrees to the right or something, as it comes towards your ears, for your right hand ear, it's getting reflected round your pinnae, which are the flappy bits at the top of your ears. And everyone's pinnae are different. For your left ear, some of that sound's getting absorbed, particularly the higher frequencies, by your head, because it's a big spongy thing. And then the rest of the sound is wrapping around your head and being delayed slightly, and then getting to your left ear. So what, and the same is true from behind you, and below and above, and everything. So everything's affected dependent on its direction. Now what games typically do is they only have sort of 180 degrees in front of you, so left or right, and you can't really do better than that without using HRTFs. The problem with that is, if something's coming from behind you, then it essentially sounds the same as if it's coming from in front of you. Whereas with HRTFs, because it's modelling what your ears do, your head absorbance and your shoulders, it gives you a lot more of an accurate idea. So that's how it works. Okay, plant sounds. Let's get back to it. So when I'm doing sound design stuff, particularly for this, I quite like starting with a simple synth, and then adding sort of more complex synths underneath it, because this is going to become a very busy soundscape, so you don't want it to take up too much of the frequency range. And in fact, the grass is sort of low mids, middle mids. The trees are your lowest sounding option, and then you want birds to be sort of top of the frequency range, so like C5 plus if you're talking MIDI notes. B is C6, and then plants sort of C4 to 5 I'm thinking of, which is why I've started with this one at C4. For example, the grass is sort of more down there, your trees are around here, so your plants are going to be around here. Ooh. Show you the full thing. And then your birds are sort of here, and your bees are going to be up there, but hopefully less piercing. So, let's have a look. HDI. I wonder if there's anything in here which might be nice. Okay. So this is just the sort of orchestral, multi-orchestral pack thing. And they sound a bit corny if you want them to actually sound like strings, but generally speaking, they're okay. Getting sort of flute vibes, I think. Together. Interesting. So maybe this might be nicer if your vibrato was a bit slower. Okay. Let's move you up a bit. Let's have a look at this. So what I did there was render out it in mono, so it's just the sound. And I sort of want to slow down that vibrato. It's a bit too much. Indeed I am, Kai. Okay. So let's call you flute. Let's call you synth. Let's turn you down. Let's turn you up a bit. How is the stream health now, guys? Am I still sort of flanging a bit? Excuse me. Hello? Are you watching? So my girlfriend's just called. Everyone watching this? So, okay, so, wait. Okay. So I'm just looking to add a bit of colour to that synth sound, really. See that's too quick. but maybe something that's slower. Cool. So I think something like that could sound quite nice. Just quietly on top, just add some colour to the tone. Okay. It's cakey. And I am going to have Plants and Trees play melodies eventually using the melody generator. But for the moment, I think I'm going to leave it. Leave them as being constant things. Sorry, I was just messaging. Okay, now we need a little sweetener on top, I think. So let's get like a nice synth sound. Sorry, I need to do this second. Hi Lauren, how you doing? And hello Amber, nice to have you. Just sorting a thing. For everyone that doesn't know or has just joined, so I'm working on a mini game for Pitch Black, and we're also going to release it via a mobile app, which would be like free to begin with, and then cost a bit of money to get more stuff. Where you're essentially a gardener. Excuse me. Where you're moving around. And you can plant trees, and they add to the harmony of your garden. And the more trees you plant, the more birds you attract. Like so. So I'm just making some sounds for the plants. Just gonna send them to somebody. Cool. Good stuff. Cool. And please do give us a share if you can. Really does help. So say this is a great way to sort of teach people who backed us and everyone else about how the game's going and you know what direction we're taking it and all that stuff. And it's great to get feedback. So yeah, please do get in touch. It's not very nice, is it? That's also great. Let's try a different synth. something relaxed. Oh, I've got an idea. Okay. Alright, so we're going to render this out. Turn that off. Okay. We're going to stretch it out. Turn it up. Whoa, a bit piercing. Not bad though. Okay, let's take it down an octave. A bit harsh up front. Turn it off. Alright, I think that's quite nice. So if we take that, and we can do some reversey stuff. Like so. That's not what I meant, I just meant regular reverse. How do I do that? Okay, that's what I meant. Okay. Okay. Alright. So I think the play is here. Ooh. Let's try unsoloing these. Alright. Not so bad. Okay, kind of interesting. Let's apply some EQ to the combo. To the combo, baby. Like so. Check. I mean, it's a matter of EQ, I suppose. If T tends to come from too much info, you know, particularly around 2 to 5k, 3 is a pretty bad offender. So as long as it's a balance thing, because if you take too much of that area out, things don't sound particularly exciting. But if you put too much in, then they're fatiguing. So it comes down to balance, same as mixing music really. I mean, if you're mixing a single and you want that immediacy, then you get away with more there. But if you're approaching it as if you're mixing an album, then if you have too much at 3 to 5k, you're going to put off most of your listeners before the end of the record. So yeah. I mean, there's no 100% right answer to these things typically. How are we feeling about that? Sort of nice, isn't it? Maybe that floats a little bit. Okay, so bro, what this is going to be is we're thinking a lot about how to we're going to make all these mini games for Pitch Black, the main one, the main release, so Pitch Black: A Dusklight Story. But we didn't want to make we didn't want to make them and have them only be in that main game. So what we thought is we'll release them as separate entities and help generate a bit of income for the company as well. And then they will be in the final game, but in a sort of reduced version, if you want. So these aren't necessarily the main gameplay aspects of the main game. What these are little independent things, bits of gameplay that are sort of their own contained entities, and some of what's here will make it into the main Pitch Black, and some of it will go into kind of separate apps but set within the Pitch Black universe. Does that sort of help? Okay. Yeah, exactly, Jessica. That's the idea. It sort of builds more trust in the company as well, because Pitch Black: A Dusklight Story is our first uh, game, really. So it's better to have some under our belt before we then try and say, look, this is the big boy. So yeah, so it helps establish brand trust, if you want to talk about it in a sort of businessy way. Yeah, but yeah, that's the idea. Okay. Yeah, in some cases, like in Audio Pong, there will be the full gameplay, but there might not be so many levels because you've got, 5 different mini games just within the city. Um, yeah, yeah. Although what's interesting is a lot of some of the code we're using in this will make it into the main game, because you figure out new ways to do things, and a lot of the code that's currently in this thing is a bit more efficient than what's in the city level. So yeah. Oh, fab, Jessica. That's great to read. Okay. Let's render that out. Browse. Well, the problem with doing that on mobile, well, is when you've got a memory issue, because the Play Store doesn't let you upload stuff over 120 meg, I believe it is. And there are a great large number of uncompressed WAVs, like the ones you see me making at the moment, which go into making an audio game. And there are ways of reducing those file sizes down and stuff, but the whole premise of an audio game is that the audio is incredible. You know, it's more immersive. Um, it's more immersive to have higher quality audio, and so we don't want to reduce the file sizes too much to all fit in the main game. Um, so there's a question of that. Also, there's going to be loads and loads of stuff to do in the full game. Yeah, and also the you know the company needs to make money off these smaller releases as well. Um, so there's a lot of things to consider because we want to give as much as we can to the full package, but we also want to keep the company going so we can carry on doing this. Okay, 48 file name. So, 0.12 meg. So it's fine on a computer, for instance, but on mobile, it's quite a lot. And it also means that it really puts players off downloading. Like, it's really frustrating when your phone's almost full and you have to delete a bunch of stuff to fit the new app on. And it is, because I know it puts me off, and it's something that does put people off downloading stuff. Okay, that's that one. Okay. Two. Yeah, we could probably work around it that way, but again, you have the file size issue to consider, and also that we need to sell games to keep going. Okie dokie. So, that option would be a little bit more immersion breaking, I think. So it's not something we're going to go for. Unless we could work it in an interesting way. I don't know. It's a little bit down the line anyway. At the moment. Okay. So now what I'm doing is going through and adding in the thirds and the fifths and the sevenths. So this will be another type of pattern because the harmony is different. Beautiful. So, and that's a third, C, no, E, something. E4. Let's try and remember the MIDI note. What's wrong? Yeah, B4. Key. Yeah, Kyle, that's a good question. So this one on PC and Mac, we're releasing as a full game. On mobile, the episodes are going to be each level is going to be downloaded as if it's an episode, but of course those who backlog Kickstarter will get unlock keys, so that's fine. Episodic is what we're doing after this release. So every 3 or 4 months, we'll come out with another level or 2 to continue the story. So episodic after this one, but we really wanted to make a statement with this first game to sort of establish the audio game genre and be like, this is what it can be, and this is what we can do with audio. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the to the fifth, which is 7 semitones up. Yeah. So each level, bro, we're looking to be about an hour. Like the city level will be longer than the other levels. But the but yeah, so the first level will probably be shorter, and after that they'll vary. But the overall gameplay is 5 to 6 hours. All of the apps will be released I'll show you not done, Jessica. Yeah, it's really interesting tackling navigation because studies have shown that people who are visually impaired think about things from their own perspective. They think about space from their own perspective because because there aren't sort of audio maps, like they don't exist. Although that's something I want to tackle at some point. So audio. So making audio directional and not relying too much on sort of the cognitive mapping that occurs when you look at a regular map. Yeah. Well, they're not my studies, but I did study. I studied this at university, and I'm going to do a PhD start a PhD in a few months, based on this area. Okay. Cool. So that's all that. And we do the 7. Yeah, that's understandable. No, it's not. I wasn't complaining, I just didn't want to take credit for anything. Each episode won't be a separate app, but it will be downloaded separately via the Pitch Black audio station, which is going to be like our release platform for all of these mini games and audio games. Okie Right, it looks like we've got some new people in. So just to let you know, we're currently doing a little bit of sound design for a game called Sounds of Eden, which is a audio game set within the Pitch Black universe. I'm Harry Cooper from Purple Jam, and so the audio game is basically you're a gardener and your garden is the extended metaphor we're using here. So as you move around, you can plant trees, and they add to the harmony of the game. And after you plant a certain amount of trees, birds start to appear, and you gradually create your own harmonious garden. And there are different types of flowers and bees that go between the flowers, and weeds will grow and make your garden disharmonious or dissonant, and you have to go and remove them. It's sort of a very casual Zen sort of game, and your garden grows over time harmonically. So when you plant a tree, if you come back sort of later that day, the sound will have changed a little bit. Okay. Let's run. Right now I'm doing a little bit of sound design for the plants. be a sharp 5. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. So now I've made those sounds, I'm going to put them into our flowers. Okay. Right. You should have a true script on. That's sort of weird, that's sort of weird. Can't really want to attack this tree. That's sort of weird to me. Okie dokie. Let's get some flowers again. Okay. Oh, I'm an idiot. That makes more sense. Okay, I was just being a donut. Flower script. Okay, let's just check out the flower script. It's not in there. Okay. Alright then. Let's look at our Gurner script. Okay. Flowers. Alright, let's look at the tree script. Public audio clip array. Plant tree. Oh, okay. It's a tree sound. Okay, we don't need plant tree sound. Go away. Okay, it's looking flower. Right. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to copy over some stuff from the tree script and put it into the flower script, and then I can add some flowers, flower sounds to the game. Okay. Public audio clip flower sound. Let's start. Audio source. source. It's fine. Private audio source. Audio source. Cool. If you needed to make a choice that's changed the story significantly, and each episode is a different app, how would that work? So what you can do is in Unity, you save in the sort of overall app on the game. You save any decisions that the player may have made in previous ones, and that way when they download the new episode to the overall app, it's still saved within that app's data. If that makes sense. Okay, let's just check the Twitter sphere. Thank you very much, Fairy. Cool. Okay. All right. From Game Army. Okay. Public. Cool. Alright, so what I'm doing now is basically taking the code that I've got for true and yeah. So taking the code I've got for the tree and converting it to work for the flowers. So it's really just a copy and paste job and changing some of the names. Has planted flower. Okay, if turn on, you do all that stuff. Okay, then we need a private int wait time. I'll explain all this code in a sec. Okay, then we need a private bool last played sound. Okay. Super. Okay. So then we have play sound. So what happens is this is getting accessed by our Gardener script, which if you press F and then 1, it finds each flower that's of type 1, which is what these balls are, or boolean, or whatever you want to call them. You then so you then so once turned on, it calls the function play sound. So audio source.play one shot flower sound. Has played equals true. Then wait time equals a random range. Then it starts coroutine wait then play. So what happens is when the flower gets turned on, it then plays a sound, gets a random wait time between 5 and 15. It then starts another coroutine, which makes it wait for the amount of time you've just got the random number from, and then has played sound equals false. And so that means that if has played sound and that then plays the sound again. So that way you get this constantly changing loop of how long it waits to play a sound. So yeah. Cool. Okay, I think I'm going to end the stream there. But this has been great. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. To answer Earl Bennett's question, yes, there will be different types of tree. This is sort of a proof of concept at the minute. And once I've sort of ironed out the mechanics, I'll go on to add more content, such as different types of flower and different types of tree and all that stuff. So yeah, I won't be on tomorrow, but I will be back on Thursday, and then probably Saturday and Sunday as well. If you want to donate to the game tool, that's great, and thank you very much. I'll get a link for you now, and if not, that's great too. And yeah, so hopefully talk to you all on Thursday. Thanks very much, everyone. Bye. About 2 hours.